Can you guys listen to me? Yes. Oh, it's weird to hear your own voice. So, guys, Banana, awesome talk. I'm feeling a little bit guilty right now because I don't care so much about that in my own project. So, I should talk with our managers to start that. And thank you, Maria, for the beginning, for the introduction. So I'm Fabio, Fabio Zuin. That's my GitHub octopus. I think he have like 7 years old and he looks exactly like me. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's exactly working from home, okay? So I'm Fabio, I have 27 years. When we say almost 10 years, because like I'm Brazilian, so we start pretty early in Brazil, like normal. I work here in Dev Experts almost like 3 years already. And that's been such a thrill for now. I'm pretty like excited to be here again in this stage. So I started working with JavaScript since my 18 years old, and my first experience was with the great and the biggest jQuery. So I think a lot of guys missing, and maybe someone still using today, right? And when we started, back in that time, I remember that after jQuery, we started like using AngularJS, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're using AngularJS?" And I was, "Yes," and people were like, "Awesome." And after the time, everything started like to being like, okay, every day we blink an eye, we have a new JavaScript framework, and after React, it's still not like 15 per month, but maybe 7. But it's awesome. I don't know you guys, but I'm pretty like, I love to be like testing new things, like see how its web is evolving, what's to be the future. I want to know who of you guys are front-end developers here? Raise your hands for me. Okay, yes. Tough talk. And shout the frameworks that you guys use, please. React? Next? Okay. I like the Angular question. So, what's signals? Why so much fuss about signals recently? You talk about Angular, so Angular recently had like a request for comments for changing for signals. I don't know if you guys know, but Angular is still using like some dirty checking with Zone.js, so it automatically re-render everything, and they're starting to use Angular signals to get rid of Zone.js because it's pretty big, and the bundle, it's like skyrocketing compared with other frameworks, okay? Back last year, September, the Preact, that's the alternative for React, introduced the signals, okay, and started to have a lot of fuss because you guys are going to see what it is, but that's why everything started. And this tweet, we're going to talk a little bit later because the Twitter X, right, started like to be buzzing around. So, which frameworks are using signals today? Someone using Vue here? Okay. Do you guys like? So Vue, I don't remember which is the function now because Vue is the one that I don't know so much, but they're using some kind. We have Quick, that's a new framework that's like buzzing around. It's pretty cool. It's pretty minimalistic, but it's great. SolidJS, that's the one that is like buzzing with signals, native with signals, you know? We have Angular that now you already can try in developer preview, and we have Preact. So are signals something new? Like everything in computers are like not so new. They're like renewed for today, okay? So before I talk about that, I'm researching about signals. They get back in papers of the 60s with other name, but it was like almost the same way. So the first framework that implemented was Knockout. Someone knows Knockout? Okay, just 2 people, old people like me. Yeah, if you don't heard about Knockout, you're lucky because you're young. So they started this. Maybe other frameworks started before, but history is written by the winners, right? I don't know. So you can see that it was like, it's going to be something pretty close to what it is today, but it was basically, so you have observable, that how they used to call, The period computed, that's something that will be like computed for big operations, and it will be saved, and you can see how it is used. So signals relies in the good and old design pattern of observer pattern, okay? So I think that today people are not talking so much about design patterns, but it's always behind it, okay? It's always behind some kind. So what's the observer pattern? It's an object, a subject that maintains a list of dependents, and every time that they are observers, and every time that we have update, it notifies the observers, and they get the new value. Okay, but okay, Fabio, you're talking. What are signals actually? So I bring an example from SolidJs. That is the one that implement pretty well, and it's like native, and it's a mix between React and Knockout. Okay, signals are a way of control component. So okay, that's a component, and app state, your entire app state. Signals are reactive. What's reactive? If you beat me, I will beat you back. Almost basic like that. Okay, pretty straightforward approach. And create signals return a getter and setter. Okay, people from React, from other frameworks, can see that's pretty like the same of like set state, right? But we're going to talk what's the difference. The getter function returns the current value, and establishes a dependency. So who called it will be a dependent of that value. So it will rerun every time that the signal get an update. So basically, he always like, if someone use RxJS here, okay, it's like subject, behavior, subject, almost the same thing. The setter function, so we're going to set a value, and it will trigger the dependence to rerun it to get the new value, okay? But Solid is a little bit different, because Solid doesn't have a VDOM. They don't believe that the VDOM is faster than the DOM, the normal DOM, so they don't actually implement that. They use the normal DOM. Because back when React was implemented, it wasn't faster. It wasn't fast, the DOM, so they created the VDOM. And unlike the other frameworks that we know, it doesn't run the component every update. So you guys know, when you update with set state, it will rerun your entire function and everything that's on that, okay? So Solid has truly granular updates, okay? So I will get back a little bit here. So when we update something, it will not rerun the counter entirely. It will just update the count, okay? What's inside the div, the text node. That's a granular update. So with that, we have a fine-grained reactivity and performance. So we just update what we want. So to be more clear, I will give an example of React, okay? So in this example, you guys can see that I have a parent component that's called counter, and we have the use state, okay? And we have the display that it's already memoized, right? So it's improved the performance. So the first one, I was running React strict modes, okay? So that's why it's 2 times React things, right? So counter, display count and display count is the first render. So when I click the button, it will re-render the parent component and the component that received the new value. That's how it works. Besides that, we have the quick. It's pretty normal example. So the first time that they run your DOM, you have the first render, that's normal. And after you click the button, you never have the re-render again. You just update the text node of the counter. So Fabio, can we try using signals in React? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. How? So September 2022, React, that's like other thing that's managed alternative to React. They created the React signals. It's focused in fine-grained updates and a reactive state management. I will show an example of how it is, but I will have something special for you guys in a moment. So here we have I create a pretty simple component, okay? So it's called signals. I have the use signal and the use state. I have some profiler here, but I don't want to talk about performance here because it's not just about performance. It's about developer experience, and that's the thing. So for example, you guys can see that I have the set state and the use signal. So the first one is the use state that re-render the entire signals and took like one entire millisecond. And the other one is using the signals that's just re-render the value inside of the 8.1 of the 8.1 and just render this, so 0.2 milliseconds. So it's pretty fast, it's pretty different. But this is like pretty normal comparison. So what's the difference? When you access this value of signals, it will automatically update the component that is listening to these changes, okay? So when I access for the first time, if my component is in the screen, he will receive updates. So I will try something new because I'm innovating, and time for a demonstration. Because I was having like a lot of fun with signals in React, a lot of fun, and I had a lot of code, and I said like, oh, I don't want to keep like change slides and stuff, so I will try something new. If it doesn't work, sorry guys. So yes, I think I already left open here. So I have here a React component, okay, using the use state, the signals, like the use state uses the prop drilling, okay, the signals using the prop dealing, and the signals in the context, okay? So 3 examples here. I will just rerun here because I need the profiler, and the profiler sometimes it fails. So if I click the add, you guys can see that the screen blinked, so it's re-render everything, okay? Okay, Fabio, we can have memoization and stuff, but guys, memoization performance shouldn't be opt-in, okay? I think like we can talk about the future, but I will talk about the future of React and what's going to happen, but today you guys need to opt in about performance, and even with that, we will still like it's still hard to get the performance that the signals have, okay? So it's stopped like of showing, but for example, here you guys can see, I can like even show the profiler here, so if I click like sometimes, you guys can see that's rendering everything again, right? If I came to the signals here, and I click with the signals, you guys are going to see that is just re-rendering the value that we changed here. So I'm not re-rendering everything. So you guys know sometimes you re-render, if you don't have your dependencies array right in some hooks, it will mess a lot of things. And here, with context, okay? And I will show the code and you guys will understand, but I will refresh just to get the profiler work, so it's fine. I will record again, and you guys can see here, I will show even about computed values, and that's it. So you guys can see, it updated the context, but nothing else. So what's the code? Oh, whoops. So I have here the context, the user state, and the use signal. I have the increment with set state, really normal. I have the increment with signal. That it's a little bit different of React because we like changing the value here. But every time that I change the value here, who already called it, it's listening to the changes. It's like subscriber, but it's synchronous. You don't have to subscribe. You don't need to be doing anything. So this is the example with the prop dealing in a normal component. So you guys can see, I receive a number. I do the prop dealing here, and here it is. I didn't show the console, but I think it's pretty clear, right? With signals, the only thing that I do, because I use in TypeScript, I say that's a signal, and I prop dealing the signal, and here it is. And in the context, I just call the context. Here is everything, same thing. If I enter the context, it's pretty simple state here. You see, we have the computer. Like I said, it can like save some heavy computer operation. So that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. It was better than I was expecting. So thanks God. So it's simple, it's elegant state management. If you guys already tried like some state management like Redux, MobX, and all the other kind of things, they do a lot of boilerplate. You need to have a lot of boilerplate, you need to subscribe and all this kind of things. You need to have selectors, so that's it. So talking about signals, they are lazy by default. What means? Only active signals are impacting your performance. The signals that are not using, they are being ignored, okay? Signals that receive, for example, the signals that have the value 1 and receive the value 1 will not trigger the update. You know, like use memo, like memo is at values, it already does for you. Optimal dependency tracking. You're not taking care of who is listening to it. He takes care for itself, okay? You don't have to say who is listening. And direct access. You don't need to like have a subscribe, a selector or something. You can just go there and access. I think now I can show later, but you guys can see how I access on the DOM. But like everything, we have some cons, okay? It's not opinionative. You know, it's like not being opinionative for me sometimes is bad because you can make some bad things. So it lets your team to fix it, to like opinionate about that. So I will talk a little bit about that. And to have these granular updates, it monkey patches the JSX and the VDOM. Okay, so it's something that people are a little bit concerned in the web. And even the maintainers of React see the powers of signals, but they think about implementing the signals, but they don't think that will work pretty good with React, but because React is basically about re-rendering and recreating everything every time, okay? And with this, you break a little bit of the unidirectional data binding, okay? So everything is like, they want you to recreate everything, but should we recreate everything every time? I don't know. So people are debating this on the internet, so I'm not like so defending this. The perfect thing is the X of developer experience, but developer experience should be considered in architectural decisions, okay? It should be considered how the developers are like having a great time writing code, how they can deliver things, how they will maintain things. So I think that the signals, how the way they are, that they are not pretty opinionative like Redux and other things, it's something to take in consideration. It's great to write code, and sometimes it's going to be a little bad to maintain it, okay? So my final thought is that signals are great. Maybe it's the future of web development. I don't know if it is with React, but I see that it's something that it's improving the performance of web development and achieving like something new. I will use, for example, in small, medium projects, and that's what the team of React says. You guys need to use in small components, small projects, medium projects to start to see how it's going to be in the wild. And that's it, guys. Thank you.